Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Kelvin here. As you can see, we have a very special two guests, RuiMing and Wei Choon from the Woke Salaryman. I'm sure most of you guys will have seen their comics by now.
If you guys want to check it out, it's cool also. But don't check it out also cool also. Actually, don't need also. I mean, just
don't check it out.
Yeah, don't check it out.
Don't check it out.
We'll be embarrassed.
Not sure you can tell or not. I'm actually quite excited about this whole thing because I remember watching your comics all the way back in 2019, 2020. Yeah, and it sort of gave me a very zen and relaxed feel whenever I watch your comics. It's like doing a yoga by reading comics.
Wow, really?
Yeah, I think it has something to do with that marshmallow thing and all the drawing. Yeah, the marshmallow.
It's our mascot. It's kind of like a representation of the marshmallow theory, delayed gratification, which we think is a very central tenet to personal finance. But it's good that you have that kind of feeling.
Yeah,
the Zen yoga feel.
Thank you. I will. I didn't know that. I'm gonna.
You monetize it.
No.
We do yoga, financial.
Yeah. Maybe one day.
Do the pose then. Yeah. This is
diversification.
Delayed gratification.
Yeah, like buy low, sell high. Or some shit like that, right?
How did you guys first started the Woke Salaryman?
We first started when RuiMing actually created a page called the Woke Salaryman on Facebook. And I think his idea for it was that, because we always talk about how to make money and stuff. So this was when we were first doing our 9-to-5 jobs.
Right. And
we would meet up socially, then we always, a very common topic that we will end up talking about for 2-3 hours whenever we meet up is how to make more money. It's not that we are very noble and all this stuff anyway. Maybe we are, or maybe you are, but speaking for myself, it was a lot about money for me also.
Okay.
Or money to then get flexibility and freedom.
Yeah.
But to get that money, you have to provide something valuable.
Yeah.
So that's what we ended up trying to do a lot of times.
So for some context, back then I was working in advertising, and I every day worked on all these advertisements for clients.
Right.
And I try to tell people what, if you change it to do content instead, something that educates people instead of a big advertising message haha, buy this product, and some fancy music. What if you provide something that is useful and helps people get past the confusion of actually navigating a product category? So I thought content would be the way to do it. And because since at that point I was really pursuing FIRE already, financial independence, retire early. So I thought I actually know so much about, not so much, I know a significant amount of this financial stuff.
Right.
Why not I use that? Because one of the important things about creating good content is you must write about what you know and what you're interested in. And FIRE is what I was interested in.
Yeah.
So the idea was that with this page, with hopefully useful content to other people, we could use it to show people hey, actually we know how to create content. So this could apply for other categories like travel,
real estate, medical stuff, things like that.
So it was meant to be a portfolio piece.
Right.
Yeah, it was meant to be a portfolio piece that at the time I was very enamored with the idea of selling workshops to corporate clients. So we could say hey, we got this thing that we talk about personal finance, and as you know, personal finance can be very dry, can be very complicated.
Right.
So we managed to grow that to 25,000 followers. So would you like us to show you how we did it? Then we will sell that course to whoever That was the idea, but it changed from there.
So it's a B2B business.
Yeah,
so
B2B. Yeah.
So it's like an agency, but you use this
on the front end is B2C, but then we monetize on the back end with B2B.
Yeah.
So in the end, it sort of become an art piece for investing.
I wouldn't say art because to me the definition of art and design is very different, and I wouldn't spend too much time deviating based on that. But I think because art to me is personal. Art is I create for me, for my expression.
Right.
Design is also a very similar pursuit. Typically, you do music, you do visual storytelling and things like that. But you are doing it for a specific purpose. So I will consider this more design than art because there are a lot of strategic choices that we make with our aesthetic and the way that we write that is not perhaps what we innately like to do for ourselves. Because when I draw very different style. I like to play colors and stuff, but we do black and white, and then it's this botak person all the time. And the art style is very simplistic because it was a budget choice. I decided from the start that it had to be black and white unless absolutely necessary.
Right.
Because we must publish quickly. Yeah.
Actually, this design part also comes through in the writing. I mean, personally, if you know me in person, Oh my god, yeah, that's a weird thing to say. I said person twice. Like I can be quite very strong-headed about like my opinions when it comes to money, how someone should invest. But then I think to make it more empathetic and relatable, I also have to change like how I communicate with others, because what we're looking for is not a platform to anyhow voice our opinions. We're looking for a platform that reaches people, actually manages to convince them that taking charge of finances is a good decision, versus just like, haha, this is my opinion, haha, look at how cool
it's
I
not
am.
an outlet to vent,
Yeah,
not
it's
primarily.
meaningful, right?
Yeah. So I think it is a very conscious design choice on both art and copy.
Right. So that's how Woke Salaryman started.
Okay.
I've watched several of your interviews and it gave me the feeling that you guys are very cohesive. If there's a multiverse, right, you guys might even be a couple.
Oh wow.
I
Nice.
don't think so.
How
Cannot live with this guy.
Oh,
I
sad.
don't think I can.
I don't know. I mean,
I'm sorry.
who knows? Maybe in the multiverse,
Yeah.
I am more attractive to you. Who knows? Yeah.
Yeah. So how
That was
how do you
awkward,
So how do you guys normally work together?
Sure. I think usually I come up with like a topic that I'm interested in.
Right.
Usually it's because like I see someone online, then I feel very triggered by the comment. And it's like, hi, how can you say this kind of nonsense? Then after that I go back and like,
It comes from a place of hate.
no.
Then you mold it into love.
that's just one way, one way.
Right. A
Then
very
we-
common way.
Yeah, it's like,
Yeah. He'll send me some screenshot or some comment.
Yeah.
And I'll be like, oh, allow this.
it's like how. Okay. I mean, it's not always makes me angry lah. Sometimes it's like,
Yeah.
I was like, hey, last time I also used to think like that
Yeah.
But then how come now I don't think like that?
Yeah.
So I try to reverse engineer the process and accelerate the thinking that brought me from here
Right.
to here.
Yeah.
Right.
Right? Or like here to here. Let's say this is left and then this is right. So I try to bring it to
Bridge
the center.
Connect the dots.
Yeah. Then after that,
C
like,
limited. Yeah, sorry. Go.
okay. Yeah, then after that I will write like something on Google Sheets. The lousiest deck in the world, it's just a title, then I just
It's not lousy.
okay, thank
But
you.
it's just very.
Rub up, yeah.
It's not very
very
polished one. Yeah, it's just text. That's
Yeah.
it.
It's just text. Then after that, like I'll send to Wei Choon, hey, what do you think of this idea?
Okay.
Then after that, he will look at it, then he will sometimes rewrite it, or like he will edit here and there, then he will add images, then he passes on to me, and then I'll be like, actually, what do you think of like this visual metaphor? Like this might also work, because we also use this, for example, let's say we use a water metaphor very often.
Yeah.
So you want to try something else other than water? And how about this? Like,
A staircase.
yeah. So this, so
Steps.
I'll be like, this is what I thought during when I was thinking. Like, what do you think? Do you think it works? Then we just critique each other's idea until at a point we are both happy with it.
I think like what I also add to the process is a sort of a layman advocate where, because I'm not as technically savvy, not say savvy, but not as technically knowledgeable as RuiMing. So a lot of the stuff, if it's too chim or too difficult for me to understand, I will say, hey, this part is a bit too chim. We might need to add 3 more slides explaining it or take it out altogether. So that is also part of what makes our content, I think, relatable. Like his willingness to compromise on some nuanced aspects to make the thing more understandable for newbies like me.
Right. So do you guys like argue about stuff?
Yeah, I think we do.
Yeah, I think yesterday we had a little argument about what is it? Revealing your last salary. Not exactly argument
it's
lah,
not,
but yeah.
it's never a big like, you are wrong.
Yeah,
I
it's
hate
never like, fuck you, we're gonna shut down this company.
It's never
like-
ever got to that.
It's more like he say this thing, yeah, okay, but you also must consider this thing. Then we will.
Yeah, the argument always, I think usually what happens is that we are coming from a different angle and we are doing it for different purposes. But the underlying point that he's trying to make, I almost always, I think 95% will agree with what he actually is trying to say. It's just that, yeah, but for this piece, our demographic should be this, and as such, we cannot use it. It will be that kind of thing. Because deep down, I think we always innately understand that whatever we are trying to say is always for the good of the content and for the good of our audience. And that's the underlying basis that makes it so that things are usually very amicable. Yeah.
And like, I mean, sometimes we have a big argument. At the end of it, we'll be like, oh, are you okay? And I'm checking on you or something. So like,
So you go, how are you feeling?
yeah. So even if like there's disagreement, you try to end it. Oh my God, sound like a couple thing. Yeah.
It is a couple thing.
Don't go to bed angry or something like that. Yeah, so,
But we have never went to bed together.
Yes.
Not yet.
Yes.
We've yet to cross that part of our relationship.
Yes.
Yeah. We went to bed beside each other, like we go on.
Yeah, that's true.
Recently
like,
in Scope.
separate beds.
Separate beds.
Yeah, but never the same bed.
Yeah. Not yet.
But who knows,
Who knows?
we are still young.
Look forward to that.
So you guys have been doing this for 3 years already. Do you feel that this job is your dream job?
What I always say is that this job is the closest to Ikigai I've ever been. There might be a closer one next time, but it might also be the case where this is it. This is the closest I'll ever get, and I'll be okay with that, because I would hate if this is my magnum opus and then I try to live the rest of my life after the Woke Salaryman after the Woke Salaryman ends, right, trying to match this thing. Can be quite miserable also, you know, like people say that was his best work is past him, and downhill thing. I don't even want to think like that. So I just think about how close I am to Ikigai.
Right.
Right now, yes, closest.
I think it's sort of like climbing a Mount Everest, right? Once you have reached the peak, you are like, wow, what next? What next?
Yeah. Because you also, right, you recently quit to do this full time.
Yeah, I think it's sort of the same for me. I feel like this is probably the best that I can achieve right now, and I don't know what's after that next.
But you should just enjoy the fact that this is the best you have right now. Like, if you are at the highest point you've been to, enjoy the view. Don't think about whether next time you're going to be higher or lower, right? Because I've never been this high, so look at this. It's cool.
It's nice.
And if I go down after that, that's okay, because I've looked at it. Rather than worry, then you never look at the view. Then people ask you how it was like, then I don't remember.
Actually, fun fact, if you climb Everest, right, you can only stay at the peak for a while. After that, you will die, because above a certain altitude is known as the death zone.
So you're slowly dying.
Yeah, slowly dying, because like there's lack of oxygen.
So you must quickly come down after you get there.
I mean, generally people will not stay there for like a day or something.
You'll be dead.
Yeah, you
stay there forever.
die. And a lot of people do die on Everest.
Right.
Yeah. Anyway, I think I have a similar answer as Wei Choon. If money was not a concern, I will be probably doing something that doesn't make money, like giving people bike tours in Japan or something like that. But at the moment, I think this is like the most meaningful thing I've done, and I quite enjoy it. Like a lot of growth also, because people always say like, oh, I learned so much from your page, but actually I learned a lot from our audience also, right? I learned how to be more empathetic. I learned how to be more like compassionate. I learned how to see things from multiple point of views. So this job also allows me to like learn so many things and interact with so many people, and I'm really very grateful. One got sound like a LinkedIn post.
Any long-term plans you guys have for this Woke Salaryman?
I think we will not.
First one is don't go bankrupt.
Don't go bankrupt. I think
That's
very important.
Because we just new office, so our operating expenses go up quite a bit. Then we hire new people. So that's our most immediate short-term plan. Long-term plan, do you have any long-term plan?
Long-term plan, I would like for us to become a Singapore brand that is very global. Like someone in the US will like, hey, check it out, it's the Woke Salaryman.
Right.
Even though they're from Singapore, all the content is very relevant to us. Very cool. Kind of like how US, I mean, you watch like Graham Stevens or Andre, right? So kind of that way. I think that would be good if we can reach like a larger audience. I think that would be something I'll be pretty proud of.
I think what we also said a lot was that we wanted to be the Robert Kiyosaki of our generation, the rich dad poor dad of our generation. Because for me, really, that was a very great starting point.
Right.
Not terribly nuanced and advanced and technical and very practical in terms of do this, do that, step one, step two. But the mindset, the kind of perspectives that he put, even if he did not actually have a rich dad / poor dad, I think it was great storytelling for its impact, and a lot of people grew up with that being their first step into personal finance, and I hope we can be that.
I think mindset and values are really important because they tend to be more timeless. Like what might work for in the 1990s,
the facts will change, right?
Might not work now also. You know what I mean?
Correct. Yeah, that's the internet thing going on. Everyone is a creator now. So moving on to your personal stuff lah. What's one thing that you guys want to do before you die?
I would like to go cycling around the world. I like to go to all the continents basically.
You went to Europe?
Yeah, I went to Europe last year to do a cycling thing.
Was it fun?
Yeah, it was really fun. But I think my most fun cycling trip was in, I don't know why I talk about cycling suddenly, but I just go with it. Like,
Go.
After our second comic, I went to Mongolia and I was there for I think 3 weeks. But it really showed me like a life that most Singaporeans know it exists but do not want to kind of live it. So it's like a very simple life. You can just live in the Mongolian countryside, living off the land, rearing your own sheep. And I thought like, well, actually, you don't need a lot of money to be happy. It just matters where you are.
Right.
And then I started to realize like the endless pursuit of money is quite meaningless. So before I die, I would like to have like a nice like enjoy life versus earn money ratio. You know what I mean? So I don't want to like work until I'm 60 years old. Then like my body is like not as great. Then I cannot do all these like fun things.
Correct.
So I like to chong for money first. I mean for me chong for money first. Then I do the fun things, you know, in my 30s and 40s.
You're in your 30s now, right?
Yeah. So I started the fun things there. So don't worry about me. Don't worry about me, guys. I'm good.
Yeah, just a fun fact. There was a Korean girl. She goes cycling over all the continent, right? Yeah, I don't know where she's right now, but probably still cycling.
I've seen that. Yeah,
She was in Australia.
Yeah.
So I have considered that before.
She has some problem with immigration or something.
Yeah.
In Australia, I saw that.
So I've considered that before in my 20s. But then I thought like, I mean I'm quite a practical person lah. I think I would like the capital to change my plans should anything arrive.
Right.
Because let's say my 20s I do this cycling thing, then I cycle for 13 years, then I'm 33 years old. Then rebuilding life would be quite difficult.
True.
But then at 33 years old, you have like a decent amount of money, then you can have more options. What if like cycling in the world is no longer like what I like? Because these things do change, right? What if I now like to make chairs for a living, right? So I thought money gives you flexibility.
I think I would like to do something that is financially irrational for my parents. And I can explain it because like I feel like, and I think my parents also don't need me to do this kind of thing. Like I recently told my mom like, because she made a dream board like for something like, you know, like Venga sheet, then you print photos of things. And one of those things that she printed was Santorini, like in Greece, which is very touristy. Like I'm like, why do you want to go there? Because there are other islands like it that are better, but I just want to splash out and give her that thing one time because I think when we reach sort of like our age, like it's like life is just a series of things that you worry about, right? When you're young, you worry about graduation, about your grades. After that, then you worry about, can I find somebody to marry me and stuff? Then you marry, then you have kids, then you worry about the kids. And then even after that, you're worrying because you're worrying like my parents might not be around one day. So I just want to tick all of these things off. And I know that I've ticked off a big one for my parents, which is that they know that I'm going to be okay after they're gone. I think that they're quite secure with it, and I think that's okay already. But I just want to do one more, which is I wanted to ask my parents like where do you want to go in the world? I will pay for it and go with you. And that's the thing that I'll give. And then it will not be financially rational, but I choose not to let that be the only thing in my life, like, even though I try to be prudent and stuff.
But actually what you say is not financially rational.
Yeah, I feel it's like buying a memory, so it makes sense.
True, but what I'm trying to say also, I will not kiam about the budget and stuff. Like if they want to stay 5-star, they want to see the freaking Northern Lights.
Yeah.
Which I will not go on my own to see.
Santorini, no.
I will just go. Huh?
I was quite like,
I think Santorini quite.
No, I said Santorini, no Northern Lights.
Oh no, yeah, don't have
It's in Tromso.
Yeah. But I mean 5-star hotel.
Yeah, I get it.
Rent car,
I get it.
you know, that kind of thing.
Because I've done it similar with my dad also.
Right.
Since young, every time like my dad drive to Malaysia, because last time it's all the trip we can afford.
Yeah.
He always talk about like, I want to go see Highway 1 in US.
Yeah, Road 66.
Yeah, he says like, wow, it's very beautiful or something.
Yeah.
But then after my mom got a stroke in 2014, like
he
he can no longer do it. So we have been working on like smaller trips, like went to Australia and everything. So I think like in the future when we're less busy, I'd like to bring my dad on this like that Highway 1 trip that he has been like talking about since he was. I think I don't think it's a rational thing to do. I think like we all have limited time on the earth, and I think if you don't do
with
it,
your loved ones, sometimes you can't get back. So I learned a lot from what you talk about your mom also. You know, like if they're not there already.
Yeah.
And while they are still here, maybe do it so that I won't regret next time.
Yeah, and it might like gnaw at you for the rest of your life. Like, and maybe that's a long-term bet in financial decision.
I'm constantly reminded that my parents won't be here in the next 20 years. There's this graph that I saw. I think it's called the tail end. So they plot how many days you have with your parents So they plot a very big graph. Then you are
Is it
left with
above?
like 10, yeah, something like that.
Wait, but why?
Wait, but why, right? Is it?
I think so. Yeah, wait, but why? Link down below. You like have like remaining 15% of your time with your parents, especially if like Wei Choon, you are an expat from Malaysia, right?
Exactly. It's interesting you brought that out also because on the note of like spending time, memories, and then also financial prudence, like one of the things that I've been thinking a lot about is buying a car. And buying a car in Singapore is very expensive, like if you're not from Singapore, because various reasons lah. But on top of the car, the cost, you have to pay this thing called COE, aka a certificate of entitlement, which is very expensive. So the reason why I want a car is it'll be way easier for me to go back home. I can drive back on a Friday, because when I go from Singapore to Malaysia, right, the distance is not the thing that kills. It is the time spent waiting in the jam, because it's a very small causeway and then a lot of cars want to cross. So what I can do with a car is I can go back on a time when it's like not jam, like 2 a.m. on Friday night. Then Saturday morning I'm already in JB and I can spend time with my parents.
Right.
So that's something that I've been mulling about, and I always thought like, what is our platform stance on that? And recently RuiMing wrote something about cars, and I like something that he wrote, and I might quote it wrongly, but it was something like,
I'll correct you.
weigh this decision to buy a car or not. Think about whether in 10 years you will regret the decision or not. And when you put it like that, like you can factor in the fact that I'm spending time with my loved ones, and that will make sense over the financial math alone.
Right.
And that's a cool perspective to
I think
have.
as long as you are ready to deal with the consequences,
yeah.
right? I think that's fine. You
That's
can
fair,
you
right?
can make any financial decision you want as long as you accept the consequences.
Mm.
And when the time comes, you don't like, wow, fuck.
Whine about it.
Why,
Why did nobody
why
protect
did
me
this
from
happen?
doing this?
Yeah, but you did 8 years old, A outcome will occur, right? What were we expecting? Like Z to come out of nowhere?
So your comic talk a lot about investing, but why do you guys personally invest? Like, what do you need the money for?
I invest so that I can beat inflation, and that's the main reason why I do so. And so my investment strategy is very basic. I just mainly buy S&P 500 and STI ETF. So I think like 60+% of my stuff is just an S&P 500,
Right.
and I sort of regularly DCA into that because I don't have the time and the interest to go and read company reports, go and do technical or fundamental analysis,
Right.
and I'll leave that stuff to the expert. But in doing that, I understand that I'm giving up the ability to have more potential rewards, but the risk is not something that I want to spend my time dealing with. So that is the choice that I've made. I'm okay with that. Like, because a lot of people say like, you use 5 to 8%, so loser, like only barely beating inflation, or like CPF also like almost on par. But I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
So I'm not trying to beat the index. I just want to beat inflation. That's my goal.
Like, but why do you need that money for?
Oh, so that I have some float, because there are some life goals that I have that are actually quite impractical, or I don't see how I can make money from it sustainably yet. One of which is I want to one day draw my own comic series. I have this idea about like a horror / comedy kind of thing that I really want to do, and I will need time to do it. Either my own time, or I pay somebody else to help me to execute my vision.
He's actually drawing it already. You can check out.
I'm drawing it already.
Link in the comments.
No, it's not ready yet. But
Okay, it's not ready.
I just put out stuff now
Don't
and
do
again.
it.
I have that vision, but I will need money to do it, and I need that stability. That's what I'm doing now. Yeah. How about you, Ruben? Why do you invest?
I think like I put a price tag on all the goals that I have. And investing is just a way for me to reach there. I think simple as that.
But technically, with okay,
Technically what?
You're rich enough to buy it, right? You want to just buy it.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Okay. Just
Why?
No.
What do you ask?
I asked for him.
Oh, again.
Technically, if you have lump sum of money, you can just buy it with a. Why do you need investing to fulfill that price tag for you? If you have that lump sum of money already. If you want to buy a bike for $7,000,
Yeah.
you have $7,000. Why don't you just buy it? Why need investing?
Okay, but then if you buy the $7,000 bike,
Yeah.
then how about the rest of your expenses?
Yeah, but what is your strategy pertaining to that?
What's like the backup plan?
Yeah, but is it that you only use your investment returns to buy stuff? So you invest so that you can use your returns to buy.
I mean, investment is like a way to preserve wealth.
Yeah, but the question was, why do you invest, man?
Why do I invest?
So how does that tally with you put a price tag on the things that you want in life?
Yeah.
How does investment
Okay,
factor
so
in?
investment is just an additional way to grow your wealth alongside earning power. That's all it is. Sometimes, I mean, it's definitely not as reliable as earning power because the stock market is very volatile and irrational.
Right.
But it's there, and in the long term, if you do like passive investing, historically it has beat. Historically it is a decent way to earn your income. Not the best way, a decent way. So that's why I do it. I mean, it's just another form of income stream.
I think a great why that also RuiMing has told me about that I think is great. Why you need to invest is also that statistically your body can only go and work on earning power. While earning power is very good in the front end, right?
Yeah.
Your body will depreciate.
Yeah.
Chances are sometimes the industry change and you cannot adapt. So you need to rely on another pillar to help you maintain that spending lah. You know. So investing is a great way to do that in the long run.
So in life we have like time, capital, labor, right?
Yeah.
In the beginning,
TLC,
Yes.
Tender loving care, table ladder chair.
Yes. In the beginning, you got a lot of time, you got a lot of labor, right? But towards the end of life, like your labor will expire. No matter how good you are, you will be irrelevant. During that time, you can build up enough capital to kind of like carry them through, even after your labor has expired. So that's how I see it also.
And another good thing is that labor in money form can be passed down. If you ever want to.
Exactly. It's transferable.
Yeah, it's transferable. Yes. I saw that you guys did a comment about that, right? Is that Batman?
Oh yes. Because Batman's body would depreciate over time. Even if he jumped all the technological things like Iron Man, chances are the older he gets, the more technologically advanced things he has to do. Unless he's just a brain in a tank. Maybe that's the new iteration of Batman.
Right.
But also his crime fighting is not scalable because he's one man on the streets doing it.
Correct.
So it might be better to deploy that Bruce Wayne capital instead. That was the comic.
Yeah.
Thanks for mentioning.
Thanks for mentioning. You can check it out in the
Link
comments.
down below.
I think in this investment space, right, everybody talks about being too reliant on your job for income. Everyone says that, and it's very easy and a very nice thing to say. That's how people sell courses and other stuff like that. It's true, right?
Yeah.
Do you want to not be reliant on one, right? You invest in the stock market. But what is not said enough in this space in particularly is that too many people are too reliant on the stock market for their future.
Correct.
And a lot of people sell this idea of being like a full-time investor, and in reality, that's just not going to be possible for the vast majority of people.
Correct.
The vast majority of people will try it, they'll get burnt, and if they didn't work on their earning power, it would not be nice.
Right.
Yeah.
So I got this comment. I was talking about how to invest during a recession. Then one of the comment was, you have to diversify your income source. For the most people, it's not possible for them. Like if you are investing in dividend stocks, a 4% return would mean that you are getting like a few $100 per year, which is like $1 a day.
Yeah.
And if you want to start a side job, it's not possible for most people because they don't have the time. They have to spend time with their wife or whatever. Or husband. So I think the most important part is still your day job, and all the rest are just supplements to your day job.
I mean, for most people, yeah. Although there's also something to be said about choosing your career path, because some jobs you choose them, they are very stable,
right?
But progression is slow. But that might be the cost of stability.
Right.
Some jobs are more high risk. For example, let's say you're a property agent, right? Then you have to spend money to earn money, right? But then the rewards are higher also.
Right.
So ultimately, it's not to say one is better than the other. It's you choose your poison, because either way, you will suffer in some way. One is a higher risk, the other one is
longer time
to get there. Right. So everyone is different. Just keep in mind, right?
So just now, Wei Choon already mentioned that his biggest holding is in S&P 500. What about RuiMing?
Yeah, so it's CSPX.
It's the same.
Yeah, same thing. It's an index tracker.
It's the London one, right?
Yeah, it's the London one.
Mine is CSPX, essentially. It's CSPX.
It's very boring. Every time people ask me, what is it? Oh, CSPX. Actually, we're the most boring people to ask this kind of question.
But people love to ask us what do you invest.
Imagine like people eyes rolling like, oh now we talk about CSPX again. But yeah,
it's a very reliable way. Yeah. Like you won't lose sleep over CSPS dropping over 20% this year.
Yeah. Maybe. Yeah. I'm prepared for the outcome.
Right.
I'm prepared
for. Will you lose
ES already dropped.
I'm prepared for CSPX or S&P 500 dropping by 40%. So though that is within my financial plan.
Right.
But the trick is not to rely fully on CSPX, because CSPX is after all, or S&P 500, because that is after all America's companies. So I also invest in STI ETF. I also buy and will rent out private property. I will also put money in CPF. So the purpose of my investment strategy is not to pursue max gains, which is what I think was extremely popular in the past 2 years. And
Past 2 years.
we know how that ended. But I think diversification is important. Right. People call it diversification. Then they say like, if you want to maximize your returns, you should only have holdings in a few companies. So I think that makes sense if you really actively monitor the stock market. Correct. If you go read company reports, if you really have like the hobby to go and pursue it, I think that works.
Yeah.
But in reality, most retail investors don't know what they're doing. You know what I mean? I can ask you like, hey, why you buy SIM Limited? Like, I like the stock. I believe in the company growth. But they now go into like, what is ROIC? What's invested return on capital? What's the year-on-year growth? What is like
EBITDA? All this.
Yeah, EBITDA. Like what is the apps like, ranking or App Annie like that? Like no one will go and search. Right. Very few lah. So most people, I feel, just buy the index and just work on your earning power. And yes, diversify into multiple asset class, not just the stock market. So I don't see investing as like a rocket ship that will propel me to financial freedom. I see more like an assistant to your earning power. You know what I mean? It's not the carry, it's a support only.
It's not a get rich quick scheme lah, basically. Yeah, steady pom PP.
Yes, steady pom PP.
Right now, with all the market crashing all around us, since November, I think, how are you guys investing? Are you guys investing any differently from previously?
For me, no. I just continue DCAing into S&P 500 like a broken record machine. Yeah, that's all I'm doing. How about you, RuiMing?
Yeah, so I also DCA, but I also put money in CPF and across the different asset classes. Yeah.
Okay.
But this year, because now I have slightly increased earning power, I might diversify into Singapore REITs as well. Because I have like an allocation for like property, and now that things have overtaken that pie, I want to sub it in with SG REITs.
Right.
Yeah.
SG REITs.
Yes. But not saying SG REITs is a good investment. It's just
It's just his choice.
Yeah, it's just my choice because I like to diversify. Because I am a boring person.
Okay, moving on. There are some viewers' questions, but I've chosen a few of them only.
Okay.
One guy asked, what is a good balance ratio of cash to invest, emergency fund, and keep in the bank as savings?
Yeah.
Assuming that he don't need the money in the next few years.
I think it depends on your stage in life. As like a young person pursuing fire when I was 25 like that. Last time I saw you make the face, stop it. Yeah. I held only like 6 months emergency savings. So 6 months of expenses. Right. So that was in my 20s. But then like after I moved out of my parents' home, I needed more things. It became 12 months.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Then another thing to take into account is like how stable your job is, and also like the general economic climate. So there were times where I had stable income and I held only, I think, 3 months
expenses.
No, 3 months expenses. Yeah, but although I do not recommend this at all.
Right.
So because we also run a business, so sometimes like the clients take very long to pay us. So this is not by choice sometimes. Yeah, but so I think after the experience, I learned to like, okay, actually my comfort zone is around 6 to 12 months worth of emergency savings.
Okay.
As far as cash is concerned, I think as a youngish person, outside of emergency funds, right, it's okay to invest the rest.
Right.
Maybe up till you have like a kid, or let's say you have like you have kids.
Right.
Yeah, or like you have other commitments. Then maybe you want to
12 months.
hold more cash.
Right. What about Wei Choon?
I don't know, I'm quite bad with this because I'm quite scared of. I'm still like somewhat a newish investor, so I still find it scary to put my money in another place that I can't see that's not in my bank account. So I tend to hold too much cash. So I'm trying to slowly get around it by putting more and more, especially in this climate,
Right.
So it has been useful somewhat also because it will allow me to buy a bit more now in the downs.
Yeah,
So I'm trying to put less cash.
Yeah, technically it's your war chest money now.
Yeah.
Are you guys still investing in crypto? Especially after the Luna USD shenanigans.
Okay, get mine out of the way first because mine very boring. I just from the start, and this is what RuiMing recommended also, I just bought like less than 20% of my net worth. I bought like half is in Bitcoin, half in Ethereum, and I don't touch it. So now I'm down about what? 15% from when I bought it, because I bought it when it came out initially. There was a crash last time, I don't know what. Then I bought it, then I just don't look at it anymore.
My recommendation is actually 5%.
Oh, 5%? Oh, okay, sorry. Less than 20%.
Not okay.
Less than 20%. Must disclaim. Because people will say you put 20% very risky.
Yeah, I don't want to say the amount because people will yam my amount.
Oh, okay.
So actually, I didn't do what he said really. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Right.
But not above 20.
No, not
Okay,
above
just
20.
put it out there.
Yeah, it's not above 20. And it didn't go down that much, honestly, compared to some of the other stuff because I didn't buy anything risky at all because I don't understand it. Yeah, how about you then, Ruby?
In the beginning, I put 5% of my net worth in the crypto. So this was Bitcoin and Ethereum. Then after that, like, I think later on in 2021, I decided to take more risks. I put some money into altcoin, known as Luna, right? Recently it became zero.
Right.
But I am still...
No, not 0.0000001 or something like that. Yeah. Be
okay,
fair to it.
okay, recently
there is some value in
it became 0.0000001. Okay,
Yeah.
Are you happy?
Yeah,
Okay.
happy now.
Yep, he's happy now. I am still investing in crypto, but I try to keep it between like 5 to 10% of my portfolio. At one point, like, crypto actually exceeded 10% of my portfolio, but I couldn't sell it because I had to unstake.
Right.
And it took a while to unstake. Then I was like, I'll unstake it at some point.
Might as well just let it continue earning, right?
Yeah. And then after that, like, it happened.
Yeah. I feel it will recover. I'm not saying about the altcoins. I'm just talking about Bitcoin, Ethereum. Yeah, I think the adoption will continue to go up. So I'm still bullish. But for the rest, I'm not sure.
But did you buy any alt stuff?
So I bought, other than the normal two, I still bought Solana and Cardano. But it's a very small amount because I know that it can easily go to zero.
Yeah.
Small amount to me is like 1 to 2% only in my portfolio.
I see.
So even if I lose everything, I'm still fine.
Yeah, I think that's the important thing. Like, you
Yeah.
must be ready to accept like a total loss in, I think not just altcoin, but even Ethereum, I would say.
Yeah.
Because I mean the example we used I think last year when someone asked us was like, this is like the internet bubble of 2001, right? Like, many internet companies died.
Right.
A few will go on to be
Yeah.
amazing.
Right. Yeah.
But most of these will die.
Yeah.
Even Do Kwon said that. And then his coin died like within the same month or so.
Cryptos are dying every day. So just invest what you can afford to lose.
Yeah. I think why, maybe you can talk about why you invest in crypto.
Same like everyone
Yeah.
to earn money.
I see.
I treat crypto as sort of a lottery ticket.
Okay.
Yeah, so even if it dies, I'm still alright.
Yeah.
But if it does well, so then it will be a good amount of money for me. Yeah.
Okay. Actually, I invest in crypto for a different reason.
Yeah.
Because I'm looking for an alternative outside the traditional financial system. Because I am aware of like some faults that we have with the fiat system.
Or regulation and stuff.
Yeah, regulation, the heavy reliance on low interest rates by governments around the world. So I invest in crypto as a way for me to,
Hedge against
yeah,
that.
like hedge against that. Although the hypotheses have not been proven true so far,
Yeah.
but I still think that it is still possible.
Yeah, I feel same thoughts. Is moving in correlation with the S&P 500.
Yeah.
But it's sort of leverage
Yeah.
kind of drop.
So yeah, it's valued like a high tech stock.
Correct.
So even though a lot of crypto bros say, and sorry crypto bros, this might hurt you, like they're gonna say like, oh, it's a hedge against inflation.
Limited
whatever.
supply,
Yeah.
there'll always be this amount of Bitcoin.
Exactly. But it doesn't matter because the market values it
Yeah.
as a high value stock. And until the market values it as a hedge
What
against
it is,
inflation,
yeah.
like digital gold,
Right.
it's just not happening.
So it's not yet, I would say.
Yeah.
The hedging against inflation part, I would say, is for poorer countries,
Yeah.
but not in Singapore.
Yes.
Where the inflation rate is like a few 100%.
Actually, I was going to say like, as a Singaporean, you might not see this use at all because like the government actually handles
Right.
the money monetary policy really well. Not sponsored by Ministry of Finance, but in other developing countries, this is not the case. So there is a use case for crypto. There is a use case for DAOs and stable coins, but I think
right now it's still like a beta phase.
yeah, it's still beta phase. Like a lot of shit can happen on.
Yeah.
Should prepare to go all to zero.
Should prepare even for Bitcoin to go to zero.
Yeah.
I would
Possible.
say it's still possible.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But like US dollar go to zero, I think it's hard lah.
The world will be a different place.
Yeah, it can. It can, but not so soon. I did a research on that. It can happen. It's actually going to zero.
But the world will be a very different place.
Yeah, it's a different place.
Yeah.
Right.
We will maybe be
Probably not in our generation.
we maybe
Be
be like
half cyborg already.
yeah, half cyborg. Maybe I'll be like hunting
Your brain is here.
yeah,
and the Ninja
hunting
Turtle.
stray dogs to eat. Yeah.
Hunting stray dogs.
Because cybernetic implant.
I think stray dog hunt you more likely, you know.
Yeah, so we must eat or be eaten. This is the world we live in now. It's a very different world. There's no
Apocalyptic.
aircon, right? There's no new water. We all have to
No
drink.
aircon.
All drink our own pee. You like that? You like that? I don't like that.
New water.
Yeah, I like new water. I don't like drinking my own pee. So after filtration, okay. Before filtration,
Thoughts on buying QQQ over S&P 500.
yeah. I think the overexposure to the tech stock. The tech sector. Even though I recognize that tech is a very, very, very fast-growing industry.
Right.
So I think because so many tech companies, because they are valued based on what they will show in the future, like the recent developments of interest rates, like has really,
It's all leverage stuff. It's all
Yeah.
growth.
it has really like tanked the thing lah. So I think that's
Right.
one of the weaknesses. Although I do see the appeal of tech companies because I do believe many of them will be the future, but you must be ready for the higher volatility there lah.
Right.
Yeah, so I think it's a higher risk, higher reward play. But I will still prefer the S&P 500 for its reliability because, as mentioned, like I'm looking to preserve wealth,
Right.
not grow it.
For the final question, do you have any advice for viewers on how to live life without any regrets?
Yeah, I think one thing Singaporeans do, and I feel this urge also, is to conform to what society wants you to do. And this conforming is because not just is what society, like the broad society wants you to do, but also like what your parents want you to do.
Right.
So I think my mom wanted me to go live like the Singaporean dream, like BTO in a very nice estate. Everyone live in a multi-generation home. Buy a car.
Expensive wedding.
Raise 2 kids, right? But I had to come to the painful decision like this is not for me. I say painful because I had to tell my mom like, 妈我不要这个。
我不要这个。
Yeah, and then she was unhappy.
Word for word.
And she was unhappy with me lah.
She say, I raise Char Siu better than raise you.
Yeah. I don't think she said that, but yeah, I can see in another multiverse it happening. So the outcome is that my mom is slightly disappointed in me, but I'm happy with myself.
But with your current, I would say, success, is she happier now?
I think she's happy.
Okay.
And I think over time she also came to accept that our generations are different.
Right.
We live life differently. Working 9 to 5 in, let's say, accountancy, which she did. No offense against accountancy people. Please don't cancel me. Might not be the way to go. People should just focus on what they are good at, right? To have the best quality of life available. But I think many people, they find it very difficult to say no to their parents, to the expectations society has put on them.
Right.
And what happens that they pursue a goal that is not what they really want. So we have a limited amount of time to make money in this life, right? We also have a limited amount of money to spend on things.
Right.
So if you go pursue the dream that society wants you will not have money for your dream. It's just simple math, right? I think it's about making the hard decision to decide what you want and bear the consequences of saying no to what other people expect of you.
Right.
Yeah.
What about Wei Choon?
I think for me, the key to living life with no regrets so far is to let go of the idea of happiness. And what I mean by happiness is moment to moment positive feelings. And it put it into perspective for me when somebody explained the idea of depression to me, because I used to think that depression was not real. It's like, it's in your head, get over it. But what somebody put it to me was that depression is like, it's like the climate. But feeling sad is the weather. Climate means like almost a seasonal thing where it's likely to rain. Weather is it raining right now? So happiness is the same way if you put it on the other axis, right? Happiness is like, do I feel positive right now? And it to keep chasing a yes for right now, I feel is quite fruitless, because you would feel like you constantly have to chase it, because you might be feeling positive and then somebody cut your queue, then you unhappy already. So these short-term momentary things you can't really control, but what you can make you feel good and overall like just positive and have a net profit in terms of feelings is to have things that you can look back on and look back and think, I'm proud that I've done that. So it's not so much happiness for me right now. It's not the pursuit of happiness, it's the pursuit of satisfaction for me.
Right.
I want to have fulfillment. I want to have done things that I can look back and like, hey, somebody cut my queue, I feel pretty crappy. Hey, but my life is pretty decent. You know, I've accomplished some of my life goals. I'm quite happy. I don't have to overwork myself, and I can afford the things that I want in life. I have a loving wife, things like that.
Right.
So it's more about satisfaction and less about happiness. But happiness, of course, is a great term to use because it's nice and catchy. But I always think you also have to look within the meaning of that and understand that it should be more long term also. So it's like what we talk about money. Don't just look at the short term, look at the long term, but extend out to that, like how you experience life, and I think that will help you be a lot less regretful.
Right. Hey, how about you?
Yeah.
What's your
How to live life without regret?
Live life without regret.
What I'm doing now, I have to not regret doing it now, 10 years later.
Right.
So let's say if I want to quit my job now, I have to think that 10 years later, my future self would not be disappointed by my current decision. So whatever I do is based on this kind of thinking.
Right.
So yeah, that's how I started YouTube.
Oh, nice.
I think it's good,
I think your channel grew a lot. It's
yeah.
huge.
I love that you did that, like, because it's a hard thing to do, and also like, I think it is very purposeful sometimes for us to think when we're younger about how can we like not just do a job but like do something with our lives that is what we like doing, and also find a way to do it sustainably. I think if you put these things together, it can be really great, and I think that's what you're trying to do. I think it's great.
I think that sort of thinking only came about after 5 years ago, maybe, when actually I sort of have amnesia over what happens early on in my life. I don't remember anything about kindergarten, primary school, secondary school. But I remember
Secondary school, you don't remember?
I seriously don't remember.
We should do a podcast episode where we investigate.
we strap him down and try to make him remember. Remember what happened?
Or like this is a casting call for everyone who knew Kelvin.
Let's find out what happened to him during secondary school.
During NS.
Maybe it's traumatic, some blackout thing.
If you're his platoon commander during NS, please reach out to us. I'm sure we can work something out.
So you have this amnesia?
Yeah, probably I suspect it's because I was going with the flow, so I wasn't living intentionally.
Right.
So I started remembering life about 5-6 years ago.
Oh my god, so you're only 5 to 6 years old.
When I started sort of chasing my passion, working in a job that I am interested in.
Right.
Yeah. But anything other than that, I seriously
wow.
don't recall.
This is the first time I'm hearing it, so I'm very intrigued.
Yeah, I think it's interesting. But I was thinking about that also. Like, I think life is just like, sometimes I think the point of life is to make memories.
Right.
And then that's all you go out with. So it's interesting that you have no memories until you started living life with intention, you know?
Feels like it could be
that could be correlated, you know?
It could be a comic.
Yeah.
I have no thoughts.
Live life intentionally, make memories.
Yes.
Right.
Where did Kelvin start and where did Kelvin end? Who knows?
Okay. I think we have come to the end of this interview. Thank you, guys. Thanks for sticking out.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun.
If you guys have not subscribed to them yet, do check them out on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Yeah, their stuff are actually quite nice.
Subscribe to Kelvin Lin's Investing.
Yeah, subscribe.
Subscribe. Don't have to.
Subscribe.
Yeah.
It'll be good.
Like, share, subscribe.
Comment.
As I'll be posting more videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Bye.